That's where it is.
Just shifting focus to the United States of America, we're looking at an entirely new theater. That's the AUKUS. We know Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to the United States of America. The Quad Summit was a great success. But how do you see the Quad vis-a-vis AUKUS, which is a military alliance, and it is very openly says it's a counter-China alliance?
Well, look, I'm not part of AUKUS, so what AUKUS says doesn't say it's for them to decide. My understanding of it is a large part of it derives from a particular capability, which is an Australian submarine capability, and whatever discussions the concerned countries have had about enhancing that capability. But very frankly, I don't see a particular connection between any of that and the Quad. I mean, first of all, two of us in the Quad, Japan and us, are not involved in it. Secondly, a lot of Quad countries, two of them or one of them sometimes, have other relationships, other trilaterals or quadrilaterals or other organizations. So it's not that there's any understanding that the four Quad countries only deal among themselves. Everybody deals with everybody else. I mean, we ourselves have a trilateral, we and Australia with Indonesia. We have a trilateral, we and Australia with Japan. In fact, interestingly, we and Australia have a trilateral with France, okay, which was supposed to meet in New York, which didn't. Look, today the nature of diplomacy has changed. This combination of countries is sitting together and figuring out how best to advance their interests and address their concerns. This is getting more and more routinized. This is evolution of the international order, partly because we are moving away from the bipolar and the unipolar world. So even the United States, finds it useful to work with other countries, and obviously other, lesser powers even more so. The fact is also that the reality of the strategic landscape, multilateral solutions and initiatives are not readily available. So I think to some extent, the UN is gridlocked, it is anachronistic, it's often not there. So when you have that situation, but the problems are still real and pressing, I think countries have just decided, okay, we'll go find our own fix. And this is one of those cases.
Minister, you've been at the very tops of India's official machinery, and now you're the minister. Very curious to know, and I'm sure a lot of other people are as well, if you could give us a little bit of insight into how the machine sort of recalibrated itself from a Trump administration to a Biden administration. We all know what the Trump administration was like. Yeah, I just want to know, how is it dealing with Trump, and how different is it dealing with a president?
No, Biden? Our machine or their machine?
Ours.
Our
yes.
Machine. Okay. Look,
and your ministry in particular.
Sure. Well, that's the machine
yes.
which it's the nature of our business to adjust to whatever is out there. Okay. I mean, so if you have a Trump administration, you obviously study the Trump administration, dissect it, figure out who are the players, what makes them move, how do you make your pitch, what are their sensitivities. So it's, in a sense, a universal proposition. I mean, diplomacy is about studying foreign governments, countries, administrations, and figuring out how to get your work done. Now, I quite take your point that there's a contrast between Trump and Biden. You study it and decide how to adjust your, working methods and your agenda and your articulation and, in a sense, your tactics.
Is it a fair assessment from the outside that the Modi government would have been more comfortable continuing to work with the Trump administration than it is working with the Democrat administration, which wherever it gets an opportunity, likes to raise issues sometimes which the Indian government or the ruling party doesn't find very happy to have to engage with?
No, look, I first, my first experience with Prime Minister Modi engaging the United States was not with Trump, it was with Obama. Okay? Now, I want you to go back when Trump won the election. And if you check back, many of you actually said it's going to be very difficult for Indians to deal with Trump. Okay? Then, when the next guy wins the election, all of you say it's going to be very difficult for the Indians to deal with Biden. Now, I hate to disappoint you. We're going to be actually fairly good at dealing with whoever's out there. That's our job.
So, we've all seen Yes Minister. You're amongst those very few who's been on both sides of the table. Give everyone sitting here some insights, and you can let your guard down and back like Sehwag for a moment, on the difference between being, say, Foreign Secretary and Foreign Minister. I'm curious to know which one do you enjoy more, which is the trickier job, and what kind of insights do you have?
Well, actually, I've done 3 of those jobs, which is the minister hacker job, the Appleby job, but I've also done the Bernard job, which is being the special assistant to the minister. Now, if you refer to Yes Minister and then tell somebody, let your guard down, the Appleby in me comes out, so look, it's a different role, it's a different kind of, I would say, in a sense, a different mindset. To me, the big change was once you are political, once you're a minister, you are actually less departmental. You have a much greater exposure to the bigger picture. For starters, for example, when you sit in cabinet meetings, you have a full 360 view of the government, all the departments, what are their concerns. So you tend to see your own responsibilities in that light. Whereas if you are a secretary of a department, however enlightened you are, at the end of the day, you are very much, I won't say a prisoner of your department, but a champion of your department. So it is a difference. It is a difference. It is an evolution in a way. Obviously, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing it.
Which one did you enjoy more?
I always enjoy most what I'm doing currently.
See, that's the advantage of being a diplomat. Not one comma, full stop out of place. You can't get him swishing outside the off stop and get him caught behind. That's not going to happen.
One question again on your personal experience. Is there anything as a diplomat that you would have changed in terms of your minister in the past, of decisions taken that you thought you could have done differently now that you're a minister?
I've never thought about it that way, but I do want to tell you that, and I say this particularly of recent times, look, good ministries, good government in a way, runs very much on the basis of the minister and the secretary sort of working as a team. And when I was foreign secretary, I had Shishmaji as my minister, and we got along very, very well. You cover the beach, so you've actually seen it. Foreign policy being what it is also in all countries. Foreign policy today very much involves the executive head of the government. So the prime minister in our country is also very deeply involved. And as we get bigger, more capable, more global, that is something which is natural. It's not unique to us. In every country, every society, that has happened. So I would say almost, it's not like you do something as a secretary which you don't know as a minister, or it's a very, very collaborative kind of decision making by very nature. Or at least everything important tends to be by definition, very, very collaborative. So maybe when I look back, not really. I think I'll be quite pleased with what